And this is my face. Do you have a face? Do you want to cover it with a painting of a different face? Then you're in the right place. That rhymed. That wasn't intentional. Okay, yes, welcome. We're going to be doing some drag makeup. It's going to be great. Before we start, I should point out I'm going to be using some things. You don't need all of the things. Just use what you have, because one of the main and most crucial things in doing any kind of makeup, but you know, I'm teaching you drag makeup right now, is to get one nice long thin brush, really nice and sharp and thin, so that when anyone tells you that there is one and only one way to do your makeup, you can stab them in the eyes for being wrong. Okay, so there is no one specific way to do drag makeup. I'm going to be teaching you my way to do drag makeup. Anything that I say is just how I do it. If you want to do it differently, do it differently. There are no rules. It's just painting. Do what you want. I'm going to start off by blocking my brows. So I've got an Elmer's glue. Should I do the thing? Nope, that doesn't work at all. Oh well, you get it. It's a glue. Yeah, it seems all very drag race, doesn't it? Because it's the Elmer's glue. I think you can use any glue stick in the world. What I'm about to do, I don't think I can sort of legally recommend, but I'm going to lick it because it's water soluble and it helps it go on better for me. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is just go in and put a whole load of glue on my eyebrows. I'm doing like these sort of roundy motions. So I want to get as much glue as possible in all those hairs. La 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 la. Now I'm going to go in with a little forky thing and just brush all those hairs up like this. So there are some people who brush them straight up. I find that if I do that, because it's sort of against the way that they normally grow, they are more likely to pull off my face. So I kind of brush them up and sort of out a little bit. Comme ça. And then I usually go in with a licked finger and just kind of press it down. Now, as you may imagine, same on the other side. Right, as you can see, well, you probably can't actually, but if I turn kind of to the side, you can see that my brows are now kind of glued up and flat to my head. Now you can still see a few little brow hairs. That is because we are not done. Oh, no. I tend to do about 3 passes with glue. That's sort of at the intersection of amount of time I'm willing to spend to do it and looking as acceptable as I'm happy to have on stage. Right, now, what I'm going to do now is just, again, this is the one where it's even more useful to have a sort of damp glue stick. You can maybe run it underwater rather than doing the gross licky thing. That's an option. But yeah, because if you go in with a dry glue stick, what can happen is it pulls the hairs back off. It's a disgusting image, isn't it? Right. So now I'm just going to go in and really press down with the glue. There's going to be a disturbing amount of this stream that's just me licking glue. Okay, round 2 complete, and now the all-important waft. We're going to be here a while. I'll probably skip over this bit. Also, can we appreciate this background? Look, I feel like I'm all fancy and not sitting on my bedroom floor, but I've made it look like it's fancy. The illusion that I live an exciting life and haven't just moved a pot plant. Now, it is very tempting, especially if you're really impatient like me, to just go in with the next pass of glue, but you will regret it. Let them dry. Seriously, let them dry. It might pick up the glue that's underneath and, you know, dissolve the glue that's underneath, and then it goes weird. I'm not a scientist. Don't do it, okay? Okay. Done some gluing. Now, the third one, I'm not actually going to leave to dry just yet because I'm going to set it. I'm going to set it with some powder. This is Airspun face powder, which is again like a very like actually drag racy official kind of thing to use. Don't worry, I'll get to the sort of cheapy drugstore stuff. Drugstore, like I'm American. Like Boots kind of stuff in a second. But yeah, you can use any powder, doesn't really matter. Again, it's just to set them. So I put this on while the final layer of glue is still wet. So it kind of sticks into that layer of glue. And just pressing it on. Make sure to use lots and lots and lots because it will get everywhere. Again, be very, very careful with your brows. Pretty much, now that you've done this brow blocking, that's it, your brows are blocked. Congratulations. Just be a bit careful when you do anything over the top of them. So anything you do, try and make sure it's in the direction of the brows. So when you put any concealer or anything over the top, if you put any eyeshadow over the top, just make sure you're doing things lightly and in the direction that they go anyway, because if you rub them, then you might lift them up. And again, gonna do some leaving to dry, because if we do this while they're wet, then it'll pull it back off again. I know that a lot of videos people talk about color correcting and things like that to really like make sure your eyebrows, no one would ever even suspect that you had eyebrows under there. I pretty much never do that because I draw on my eye makeup up to about here. And if I'm going to draw on like bright blue or something over the top, it really doesn't matter if underneath looks perfectly beige. You're not going to see it anyway. So next up, oh, covered in powder, see? This is what happens. Yeah, so next up, I'm going to do some foundation down to here. I used to do foundation all the way over, but the issue is when you put on your eyeshadow and things, you tend to get a lot of fallout, or at least I do. It's not a look I want. So my new approach is to do just foundation for the top, do my eye makeup, clean everything up, and then do the bottom bit. So I am using, am I doing this for everything? Maybelline something. Nouveau Fond de Teint. This, it's like a very long lasting foundation, which I use because I sweat a lot. I am a very sweaty human. And so when I'm performing, especially, I need something that can withstand the sheer volume of water that is coming off my face. Okay, so now I've done that, we're going to go in with some concealer. If I can find the concealer, that is the next thing.
A few moments later.
Aha! I can. This is a collection. This is one of the things I will like actually recommend. It's super cheap. I think it's from Superdrug brand or something. Like cheap and really, really good. So this I will actually recommend. But yeah, I'm going to go over my whole brow. Yeah, a lot of the beginning stages of this makeup is just beige. Next I'm going to go over with one of these. This, which is again I will recommend. So it's NYX Proof It. Does this work again? Do the thing. It hates me. NYX Proof It eyeshadow. It's like waterproof eyeshadow primer. Sufficiently beige. Okay, now I'm going to draw on my new eyebrows. Now some people do this after. I like to do it before because it tells me how much space I have to work with. So I do this. So I'll do sort of, I'll sort of sketch them out with dots first and then connect the dots. It makes life a lot easier. Okay, can you kind of see the dots that I'm about to connect? Can you see what they might become? Eyebrow shaped. But yeah, so then join them up. Voila. Look at him. Oh yeah, for this I'm using a waterproof eyeliner, I think. Yeah, waterproof eyeliner. Now, I'm going to fill them in. You can fill them in with a pencil, or you can fill them in with some eyeshadow. You can fill them in. Go wild and crazy. Fill them in with whatever you like. I'm going to fill them in with a little bit of brown eyeshadow. Do they need to look identical? Nah, not really. Unless you stare people dead in the eyes looking straight like this and go, look at my eyebrows. They won't notice if they're not identical. It's fine. Yeah, you'll be surprised at how wildly different they can be, and people will still be like, look like eyebrows to me. Okay, so we've done the filling in. Now what I'm going to do with the thing that I've just put down and immediately lost. Found it. Okay. I'm going to just basically sketch on some hairs because I like it when they look kind of like bushy and sketchy looking. It's my thing. Nice and sketchy, and then a similar thing on the other side. Should I really stop singing everything I do, shouldn't I? Oh well, too late. No. Comme ça. Brows complete. We may be emerging from the beige era of this makeup tutorial. Should I have started this off with clean brushes? Yes. Do I have clean brushes? No. So this is very much a do as I say and not as I do situation. This is another thing that I'm going to recommend. Oh, I love it so much. This is the EYN Brights palette. Again, it's one of the cheaper ones and I love it. I despise sort of neutral colours. Right, so I'm going to go with a dun, 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 pink. Should we go pink? Let's go pink. I'm going to use Make Them Wink. This one here. And start off by just going into here and doing some nice, just patting it on. Pat, 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 pat. Right. This is our nice middly shade. It's on. It's looking gorgeous. And I love it deeply. Look. Ooh, that's a look. Okay, now what I'm going to do is kind of like blend it up to the eyebrows with a different shade. Will I use the same brush? Yes. Okay, I'm going to use this like shimmery one called Candid Candy Floss. So yeah, I generally blend it up with a much lighter shade. Shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. I'm then going to go in with a lighter matte pink to just kind of, again, blend those a little bit more. In terms of the colours that you use, honestly, the world is your oyster, your imagination is your only limitation, etc, etc, etc. What I'm going to do is put in a little bit of a darker shade just closer to my eye. So you won't end up actually seeing a huge amount of this dark colour, but if it's just, it just fades it ever so slightly darker on the inside, that's very helpful. It's a glorious colour. Right, this is what we've got at the moment. We've just got pink fading up into a lighter pink at the top, and then down into a darker purple, down right close to my eye where I'm actually going to end up covering most of that up, but just so that the join is going to be a little bit darker. Right, now, the next part involves some concealer. What I'm going to do is literally draw on a crease. Now, if you were doing like a normal cut crease for normal human day-to-day makeup, then it would be like down here, like near to where your actual crease is, but this is drag, darling. Natural is not what we aim for. See? Suddenly, there's some interest. What's happening? There's two different colours on her eyes? What is this? See? It's about drawing the audience in. Right, now we need to decide what colour this inside bit's going to be. I'm kind of feeling white. Should we go with white? Yeah. If there is a particular white eyeshadow that you have found to be very, very successful and pigmented, please contact me and let me know. Because I think I've been disappointed by almost all white eyeshadows that I've ever used. They're always a bit meh. That being said, we're going to go with white. It can be nice to put a little bit of glitter on this inner lid. Shall we? Let's. I'm going to get everything covered in glitter. Now, I'm not going to, I'm just adding a little bit of glitter for shimmer value. I have done this before where this is entirely glitter, and for that you'd want to use some actual glitter glue. But I'm just adding a little bit of shimmer to sparkle things out a bit. Oh, sparkly, sparkly, sparkly. But yeah, so I'm not actually putting in any glitter glue or anything like that, because we're not being serious with our glitter. We're being frivolous and joyful. So I'm going to take a nice thin brush, and again just really highlight the difference in that crease. So with something nice and dark-ish, so I'm going to again go in with this like darker purple that I used. Oh, depth, depth. The sort of slightly disturbing sound effects that I do oh, are optional. Don't feel obliged to imitate them. I'm just saying, might help. Okay, we're gonna now enter eyeliner territory. Prepare yourselves. Yes, this is my eyeliner brush, and oh boy, eyeliner is a big part of this. So I'm going to use this, which is like Illamasqua eyeliner. It is quite expensive, but it goes a long way. It really, really does. Should I talk when I'm looking at the camera? I did also used to use this one, which is again the Collection Superdrug own brand thing. If you're on a budget, use this one, Collection. So I'm going to start off by doing that. Deciding this is the outer line of my eyeliner, because that's the thing that will really show up if they're different on either side. So that's the thing I kind of start off with. Are they even? No. Are they close enough? Possibly not. Okay, I'm better with that. There we go. So, outside line's done. Now we do just a whole lot of filling in. Stick on some good music and paint a whole bunch of black on your face. Try and kind of create just like a shape that works for you. I like some quite like big, bold, straight lines. I don't like when eyeliner does like this and goes sort of like all curvy. I like big, straight lines. So I'm going to make it even bigger. Now that sort of from here up is mostly done, not completely, we'll get there. What we're going to do is just tidy up from here down so that in preparation for completing the beautiful under eye look. Oh yeah, I should probably say, some people use primer, like whole face primer. I don't understand primer and I don't really know what it does, so I've never really bothered to buy any. It's worked for me thus far. If you want to use primer, fill your boots. Right, now we're going to bring this gorgeous face downwards. Same as last time. Bit of foundation on a sponge. You could use a brush if you so wished, but then you'd miss out on the joy of randomly stabbing yourself in the face repeatedly. Remember to blend in around your neck, unless you don't want to. There are some people who decide to do more of like a mask look. They might use a foundation that's completely different to their skin tone or whatever, and just like have it end at the chin line. That's cool too. I'm not going to fuss too much over the underneath of my eyes because they're about to get filled in with a whole lot of paint. What I can do is put a little bit of concealer on things like spots under my chin and things like that. Just stuff. I'm just going to highlight the inner corners of my face. I only really bake, that is to say, I only really set this with a whole load of powder if I'm going to be doing a show, because again, it helps it stick on my face and repel all of the sweat. But I will show you how you can do baking if you so choose. Basically, I'm going to take this loose powder again, and on my sponge, I'm going to put it in a nice thick layer under my eyes and also my chin and along my jawline. There you go. And now you can have the joy of feeling like a proper drag makeup artist with your bake on. You can do it down your nose as well. It's certainly an aesthetic. So I'm just going to lightly brush off this in preparation for doing it under eye. We'll leave the chin on for now. Just have like a sort of wonderful beige chin strap moment happening. Right. What are we doing next? The answer to that question is more eyeliner. So first of all, I'm going to continue that eyeliner line down into the inner corners of my eye. Right, so we brought it down, and now I'm going to bring it ever so slightly underneath as well. Ta-da! And now I'm going to fill in this little tiny bit with white. Just doing some shaking. Shake it up, get it ready. So yeah, I'm going to be using some white liquid eyeliner to do the middle bit. If you want something that is properly bright white, use a liquid eyeliner. Nothing beats that. I'm also just going to put the lid on the glitter. Oh my God. Because I was worried that this might happen. I'm just going to be glittery forever. This is my life now. Okay. Back to the white eyeliner. So yeah, I'm going to basically draw on a bit more of my eyeball underneath my eye. Does it sound odd? Yes. Does it look sexy? Also yes. I know, right? Who is she? What's up with her eyes? No one knows. Got some nice, big, white, sort of ovally shapes underneath. What am I doing now? Oh, more eyeliner. Now I'm going to use this liquid one. You could go back and still use the same gel one if you want to. Eyeliner is eyeliner is eyeliner. Use whatever you want. And now, like I said, I'm going to draw on my lower lash line. Look at it. Look at her. Now, could leave it like this. What I tend to do is draw on some lower lashes because I like to make it even bigger and rounder and more juicy and glorious. So yeah, for these lower ones, again, it's up to you. You can do like lots of individual ones going down in a kind of like sort of twiggy-esque, very separated lashes thing. I tend to do 2 on each side. I don't know why, that's just my look. Yes. Please take a moment at this stage to look at those eyes and go, God, I'm attractive. Black pencil. Just to do this bit of the waterline to further maintain the fantasy. Oh, look at him. Now that we have completed the liner stage at last, I know, it's been a while, we can now enjoy the beauty of lashes. So I use What a Drag Femme Top Lashes, but with a twist. Because I have added a whole bunch of paper to my lashes. Just some big paper triangles, essentially, to make them even huger and ridiculous, because frankly, even the big drag lashes didn't actually end up showing very much over all my eyeliner. And what is the point of wearing lashes if you're not going to see them? So, if you can't buy those huge, enormous lashes of your dreams, make them. Now, I'm going to put that adhesive, glue to the noobs amongst you, on the very, very edge of the lash, because that helps the lash stick on in a way where it's sort of pointed upwards rather than sort of droopy and low. Because there is nothing I hate more than a droopy lash. But yeah, also, and this is one of the best tips I have to offer, cut down your lashes. Because most of the time, the lashes that you buy are going to be too big for your eyes, unless you have big eyes. And so what ends up happening is when you put them on, they kind of droop down the side and you end up with that sort of weird droopy eye lash look thing. And if that's your thing, cool. If you don't want that, the sort of like lashes going down at the sides, if you cut them down from the middle, not from the outside, because you want to keep those nice long lengths, cut them down from the middle, then suddenly, instead of being like down here, they're like, ooh, perky, and oh, look at these eyes. So yeah, possibly if you take nothing else away from this stream, video, you know what I mean, it is cut down your lashes. You will thank me. You look gorgeous. And then you'll be like, oh my God, Mabel was right. We should worship her as some sort of god. And I'll be like, yes, you should. Right, we're getting there. The glue is slowly drying. That's another thing with applying lashes. If you just put the glue straight on and then jam them straight on your eye, that is a swift route to a deeply gluey eyeball. No one wants that. So glue on your lashes and then leave them. Leave them for longer than you think you need to leave them. Let them go properly tacky and almost dry. So here you can see like the white of the glue is almost disappearing because they're nearly that dry. Now, I know people have lots of issues with applying lashes. My general approach is grab the sort of vague middle of the lash, comme ça, and then just kind of plonk it like that. And then, now that you know that it's sort of vaguely in the area you want it to be in, you can then adjust the ends. In terms of lashes that you can buy, fundamentally you can spend lots of money on very fancy drag lashes. You can buy a whole bunch of £1 lashes and stack them on top of each other. That works too. You can buy one set of very cheap £1 lashes and then glue a whole bunch of paper to it to make mahoosive lashes like this. Whatever works for you. Yeah, don't feel like you have to splash out on some ridiculously expensive lashes in order to do drag. You don't have to. Right, this one's now, it's approaching tacky. So I think I'm happy to stick it on. Again, like before, grab faintly in the middle, plonk, adjust corners. Oh, look at those eyes. So yeah, our eyes are now complete. What's next? The entire rest of our face. First off, I'm going to brush off this sort of powder chin strap that we've had going on for a while. It kind of looks like you've just got eyes stuck onto like a paper plate of a face. So we're going to give that paper plate of a face a little bit of contour to give it some structure and also to fake that I have cheekbones. So for this, we will need one big fluffy brush and something to contour with. You can use brown eyeshadow, you can use whatever you want. But something that's just sort of like darker than your skin tone to fake shadows under your cheeks and things like that, essentially. What I also use is a bit of card. Now, I used to use just the flat bit like this and then shadowy, 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 shadowy. So you have like a nice straight line here. What I have started doing is using this bit where basically I've cut it into a little bit of a curve. So it gives that a little bit of a curve round my cheekbone, which I think works slightly better. But just a flat bit of card will also totally work. Basically, do it like this. So it's like nice and tight underneath my cheekbone. Comme ça. Press it down, get a lot of your dark powder on your brush, and then start from the outer corner because that's where we want it to be nice and dark. Oh, look, she's got cheekbones. And now, same on the other side. Was I saying something? I think I got distracted by my own cheekbones. Oh yeah, bronzer. Some people do it with bronzer. I do it with matte powder. Whatever works for you. You can do it, some people just do it with blush. What you can do is pinch your brush like this if you want to do little areas. Just even it out. Oh, look, my face suddenly has structure. Would you have imagined looking at me that I could fake cheekbones as gorgeous as this? No, the power of makeup. Okay, cheeks are now gorgeously contoured. Ooh. Now we're going to do chin. I'm going to start from under my chin. I don't usually change the shape of my jawline. I usually just define it. Ooh, look at that. It's a jawline that can cut glass. Ooh. Now that I've done this, what you can end up is with that nice sort of weird brown line all the way around the bottom of your chin. What I usually do to kind of make it look a little more subtle, like, ooh, maybe it's natural, is to blend it down the sides of my throat a little bit. Okay. Nose contour. I am just going to use a sort of thin, flat brush. Can you see how flat this brush is? That's the wrong brush. There we go. Thin, flat brush like this. So I'm using the same contoury colour and I'm just going to draw lines on. And again, it's the kind of thing where like you don't have to contour your nose to be thinner if you don't want to. You can also just go like, no, I like my big nose, and like contour it the size that it is, but just give it a little bit more definition if you want to. So you'd literally just draw the lines a little bit wider. I usually draw my nose on a little bit thinner than it usually is, but you shall see. Observe. So I started out with where the pink of my eyeshadow comes in on the side of the crease and then just kind of extended down the line of my nose. So that's the line that we're going with. And I'm just going to buff out the sides ever so slightly, otherwise we end up with a really, really straight line. And that looks a little bit odd. There we go. Blended. Now, I'm going to do the very bottom of my nose. So kind of do a little U shape at the bottom, and then I usually like take that U and then extend it down and then into like a little M shape with the sides going down to my nostrils. Extend those lines down a little bit further if you would like to. Nose, contour, complete. Should I use real words when doing this? Is it unhelpful to use random made-up words? Is it too late to be asking that question? These are the questions of our age. Okay, you can do round here if you'd like to. In fact, if I'm doing more masculine drag, I tend to contour round here, around the sides of my nostril as well. I don't know why, but it works surprisingly well. But I leave that to my drag king family to educate further in that area. Now I'm going to do some blush, which kind of blends in with the contour. So like I said, some people contour with their blush. That's cool. As if they need my approval. It's like, you're allowed to contour with your blush. It's okay. I give you permission. But yeah, so I'm using this blusher. I don't know where it's from. It's pretty cheap. You can use eyeshadow as well. And also like, the wonders of eyeshadow, it comes in way more colours, so it means that you can use blush in far more colours. Yeah, so we're going ham on the blush. So I'm going to do it up here, up with like that real tops of my cheekbones are. And then up into my temples. Oh, look at that. I know that there are people who take their blush down into like the apples of their cheeks. I don't know, I find if I do that, it looks really weird, but try it on your face. Only you know what works on your face. That's not a sentence. That wasn't a sentence at all. Only you know what works on your face. No? My brain stopped working. Yeah. She's flushed, but in a good way. What I also do is the very tip of my nose ever so slightly. Now, I am not the queen of doing this. My friend is the queen of doing this. She is called Jalebi. And the little like nose blush that she does is so cute and so perfect on her nose. Do you ever just look at someone and go, well, I mean, you've perfected this, haven't you? Like, I'm never going to look like that. That's just human perfection. That is how I feel about her nose blush. I don't go all the way to the sides because then it can end up looking like you've got a cold. It gives you a little bit more colour. Again, so you're looking a little bit less like a paper plate. Like, anywhere where you can add a little bit of extra colour, make it look a little bit more interesting. That's what we want. What I also do is do a little bit of brush on the bottom of my chin. And I don't know why it works, but it does. So really just the very bottom, like that. And again, it just sort of like rounds out the chin, makes you look a little bit less beige. I don't know why. It works, doesn't it though? Look, just a little bit of highlight. Speaking of highlight, should we do some highlighting? Right. There's kind of two different kind of approaches for this. So I have this highlighting. This is kind of like a nice shimmer, which I really, really like and I think works quite well for a lot of highlight. So I might do it on the tip of my nose is a nice place to highlight. So might take some of the middle stuff and just go. So yeah, it just gives it a glow, which I really, really like. Oh, look. And then I'm going to grab a brush, or I would if I could find my brushes. Here. Same brush. And then take some of this and do cheeks. Oh yeah, I should have gone back with contouring. Some people contour their foreheads. I've moved my eyebrows up so high that if I contoured my forehead, I'd basically have no forehead left. So I just sort of leave it. But you can contour up to your forehead as well. Just puts a little bit of dark stuff around here to kind of round out your forehead, I guess, if you want to. Some people highlight their forehead. I don't know how to do that. And again, I don't have a huge amount of forehead to play with. So once the eyebrows are on, pretty much just ignore my forehead from then on. We can also do a little bit of highlight just here. We can also do a little bit of highlight on the chin, although again, don't want to go too overboard because I can end up looking like I've just got a really greasy chin. Look at the little the glow emanating from her face. Isn't she youthful and warm? So that's one kind of highlight, is this kind of like shimmery stuff. And I like the fact that this one's got like different colours. I think it's number 7. It's number 7. But it's also ancient, so I don't think they do it anymore. But also I have this. So it's the Fenty Beauty, I think it's called Glitter Bomb. Diamond Bomb. And this is just tiny glitter. And I know it looks really weird in here, but yeah, it's just like tiny, tiny glitter. And so it doesn't give that sort of sheen. And I do like the sheen, which is why I use the other one as well. But I like this to just do these bits to be like, oh, she's just slightly glittery. Just so fabulous. Her body sweats glitter. So yeah, and sometimes I'll do it like on my collarbones and stuff as well. Just like, yeah, chuck some glitter around. Now, this is all too sickly sweet at the moment. I think we're gonna grunge it up a little bit with a black lip. So for that, I'm going to use more eyeliner. I know, I'm sorry guys. If I did my lips the same size as my lips, then it would look really disproportionate because it'd be like, huge eyes, tiny little lips, tiny little baby lips. Although sometimes I've done that. I've done like the little tiny like doll lips that are just like really small. That's kind of cool as well. But no, this one I'm going to do my sort of standard mahoosive lips. I'm just going to use eyeliner as a lip liner essentially to block out where I want my lips to be. So I'm kind of going over, so where my natural Cupid's bow is starting from that middle point, but then going much higher and out. Now, some people like to do like down and out, so it's like really angled. I don't know why. I like big chunky sides to my lips as well. So yeah, I tend to go up and then keep it still fairly rounded out. And then I'm just going to do the bottom one again underneath. Look, suddenly I've got lip fillers. I know, so much cheaper. So yeah, now that we've done that, fill it in. And I mean, as I do this and demonstrate the wonder that is overdrawing your lips, I'd like to point out just how different my face looks from the way it did when I started this tutorial, and ask you how now you might respond to those people who claim that AFAB drag queens don't have to do anything. Drag is about messing around with gender, with aesthetics, with gender expectations, and everybody can do that. It's kind of why I do drag, is because I enjoy pointing out how ridiculously stupid the beauty standards are for women, for one thing. And also because I enjoy performing with this mask on. A lot of my acts are like comedy, they're funny, they're about dancing and taking the mickey and being a character or something like that. And so I'm not here to look like a woman. I'm here to create a face and a character that you can see from a mile away, and which I can then have all sorts of fun with on stage. Like, this is why I do drag. And it's why I miss the stage so much. Okay. Now those are some lips. I do have a sort of very sticky, very ancient black lipstick, which I'm just going to go over the top with. Now, we could leave it like this, but I like to do a little bit of highlight in the middle of my lips. So what I think I'm going to use is some more of the Fenty glitter, just to make the middle of my lips really pop. It's a little bit of lip contour. So you can do this with eyeshadow, you can do this with just a different lip colour. I just think it really helps make your lips look extra juicy. Final touch, which is, again, a thing that I like to do but is far from being universal, is I like to do a little beauty spot. Because, you know, it's those little imperfections that really highlight the perfectness of everything else, as Shakespeare once said. And who are we to deny Shakespeare? So, one little beauty spot just to set everything else off. And there is my face. But yeah, do this, go, be free, have fun. I'm going to come back with like hair and an outfit on, and you can see it all in its wonderful glory. But thank you for joining me for this and putting up with my sort of rambling in a monologue. So that's all from me, darlings. I hope you look as fabulous as you feel inside, if not more so. Yeah, if you have any questions about this look or anything else about drag makeup, or, you know, drag in general or life. I mean, I'm not qualified to help, but I can try. Then contact me. I'm Ms. Mabel Syrup on Instagram and on Facebook. So yeah, find me, say hi, ask me questions, send me your pictures if you've tried this, because I'd love to see them. So please, 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 please post them, because I want to see what all of your beautiful faces look like. Love you all. Mwah. Happy Pride. And go forth in queer glory. Bye. Where is my lash glue?